nothing but faith. There's things far too great that I want to accomplish. I'm hoping 25 hours a day, but something good works out, and I'm just like, dang. Think everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm like, dang. Think you might just know the way. I'm like, dang.
Welcome to Dang.
Dang. Oh. Go ahead.
What are you singing?
Oh, just singing Tom Jones stuff.
Tom Jones.
Yes.
Are you sure it's Tom Jones?
I believe it is. He's a
Sing
she's
it.
a lady. Oh. Yeah, something Tom Jones. Go ahead.
So today
Okay.
we are talking about when life gives you the unexpected.
You mean like pitfalls?
Yeah. And like
Oh.
detours.
Well, life is full of detours and pitfalls. You
Yeah.
just have to know how to fill those holes back up and keep moving.
You know, as they say, you should expect the unexpected, right?
Well, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my life took a huge detour. Then I came on back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You come back when you have good, when your parents are on you. You know, my mom always showed me what was right, so I was able to come back to what was right.
So I think you had some signs. You had some road signs too on that detour, didn't you?
Yeah, but sometimes you don't pay attention to those
Like
road
the
signs.
turn back now.
Yeah, but you don't do it. You just keep going forward because you're like, I want to do what I want to do. Ply forward. And all of a sudden you start falling a little too much and like, I better start going backwards.
Like maybe those signs were right.
Yeah, maybe those big giant things that says, stop, don't go. And I should
Maybe you should have
gone backwards.
listened.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. That's what I
Yeah.
believe now.
You learn, right?
Yes.
We learn from detours. And
Yep.
sometimes detours, a change in plan happens because we don't even know what would have happened. Like, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like there's like that the plane crash that just happened like a month or so ago with in the Potomac, where there was like the helicopter and the plane. There was like that figure skating team that was on board. It was so sad.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the articles seeing there was a guy who was part of that. He had a dog with him or something, and they wouldn't let him on the return flight. He couldn't get on because his dog was too big or something. He posted on social media how frustrated he was and how he's like, okay, starting my 13-hour drive back to Washington because they wouldn't let me on the plane. And then turns out he survived because of that.
Sometimes God doesn't want you to, it's not your time.
Right? And sometimes something that like looked like such an inconvenience and such a pain was actually a blessing.
Yes, and then it happened also one time to this little girl was on a plane, and unfortunately it crashed, and everyone on the plane passed away except for her. She lived.
How'd she live?
She was still strapped to a chair alive.
Oh my goodness. So because she was like in a car seat or something.
No, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I just
Wow.
know what I read.
Yeah,
Okay, so what have you had in your plans that totally fell apart? Tell us.
Well,
I think it's a lot of them.
there is a lot of them, but one in particular I can think of is, my first marriage,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay. You had plans to do what?
To be married forever.
Okay.
Like in our religion, we literally go to the temple, we get sealed. I thought I would be married to that person for eternity, like forever.
And
I legitimately believed that is what was going to happen. But it's not what happened.
No.
And there was actually several times throughout the marriage, like towards the end, over the course of probably, because we were married 21 years. And I would say over the past, like the last 7 years, there were several times where I would come out and I felt like I was like facing this ravine. Like we were like wandering around, like I kind of visualized it. Like we were wandering around this forest and we were coming out and we were facing this ravine. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm not going that way. And I'd go back in. And come back and look at the ravine again and be like, yeah, it just looks too deep and too difficult. I'm going to go back in. It took several years to finally be like, okay, we're doing this. But what was great is on the other side of the ravine was a whole new life.
Yes. Well, that's because you have to be okay with how your life is going. And then once you get there, you got to move forward.
Yeah, it really has helped me to trust better and know better that, hey, you know what? Just keep going forward.
But God will also take something that happens bad in your life and change it for the better.
Right.
He does that a lot, so especially with me.
I actually think that's the whole plan, honestly, is sometimes he wants us to see how he can do it. So, Todd, have you ever had an audition or role that went off the rails, like the audition?
Yes, and those are the jobs I always got.
Really?
Yes, and that's the craziest part about it is the auditions that I did the worst on, absolute, horrifying, terrible. I get a call back saying, "Oh, they want you for the role," and I'm like, well, really? The roles that I said, man, I killed that. I was great. I was fantastic, and they go, no, we didn't want you for that role. And I'm like, so.
Do you think it's because there's more to it than what's going on in the audition?
No, what I have learned is,
no.
If they want you, and God wants you to have that role, you're going to do it. And there's nothing that can stop you, no matter how bad you do. You know, it's just going to happen for you. And I had learned that's why I've learned just to go there and do my best. That's all I can do is do my best. And if they don't like that, then they don't have to hire me.
Yeah. I think that's a really good philosophy actually for things is just keep doing your best. Just keep going forward. Just keep moving in the right direction.
But sometimes I think when you think you're doing your best, you may not be doing your best, but you think you are. When you're just doing the best you can at the time, because, you know, we all go through so many emotional things in life, and you're dealing with some kind of emotion somewhere, and you just do the best you can, that may come off more like, okay, I like this person. It's good. He's showing a lot of emotions and feelings in that.
You mean like in your auditions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think in life itself, if you do the best you can, no one's going to complain about it. If you're doing a subpar job because they know you can do better, I think that's different.
You know what else I think too is if you're encountering a situation, you know, kind of like the Groundhog Day movie where you're repeating something, where you're like, here I am again. I keep ending up back here. I think maybe sometimes that's a signal to you to learn to look around this time as you go around the loop, be more aware, you know, kind of look out for what am I supposed to be learning
But
from this?
that's in our program, the thing of insanity
in our program, you mean the AA program?
Yes,
sometimes
is
I get confused.
doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, and it's always going to end up the same.
Yeah.
But you keep doing it, thinking I'm going to do it different because you try to change something. Okay, I'm going to change this way. I'm going to do this way, and it's going to come out the same way. And then you have to realize that maybe you shouldn't be doing that at all.
Right.
Maybe you should go around that and do something different.
Yeah.
You know,
so learning, like, what is it? And I think you're absolutely right that like doing the same thing and expecting different results. Yes, but I think sometimes we will have like it's not so much of like a pathway that I'm choosing and I keep choosing to go in this circle. It's that you see that life is just bringing you around in this circle and you're sitting here going, okay, and I have felt like the best way for me at least to get out of those circles or at least to start feeling a progression again is to say, what can I learn from this?
What can you learn from that, honey?
I don't know. It depends on the thing.
On the what?
It depends on whatever the thing is. Why do you think that we struggle so much with change, though?
Well, because people don't like change.
Yeah, I think it's
change is like
human nature, right?
Yeah, change is a huge, and it's interesting is that I think that on this earth we are the most adaptable, but a lot of us don't like change.
We just want it to, we just get used to something.
Yep, and you want the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Do you know I have a theory about this?
What?
Okay, so we believe that on this earth we're here to be, tested, and that Satan is our enemy. He's in charge of the evil side, and he wants us to be miserable. Like that's his goal, right? Do you believe that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I believe he wants you to be miserable because he wants to take your soul.
So this is tracking then, so more people probably understand. So I believe that one of Satan's strategies to make us miserable is to get us to believe that change is hard and that we don't like change and all that kind of thing, because literally this earth is all about change.
Yes.
Everything on earth, it's in constant state of change. Nothing stays the same. Like plants, even the earth, like the earthquakes and the rumbling, like everything on this planet, in this life, it's always changing.
Yes.
So if that's truth, which it is, then it would be the perfect strategy. If your goal is to make everybody on earth miserable, wouldn't it be the perfect strategy just to like encourage people to hate change?
Of course.
Because you can't stop it. You literally can't. I think
It's like
I
you
think
get
that's what it
older,
is.
your body changes. You
Oh,
get
yeah.
older, your mind changes.
There is
you
no
know?
way to freeze it. Like it's always. I mean, actually, you wouldn't even want to freeze it because isn't the definition of the freezing death?
Yes.
Right?
Well, it's
Like,
like if
isn't
you
that
put,
when your
if you put water into a jar and left it, over time it's going to evaporate. So it's changing. It's constantly changing.
It will evaporate. Yeah, it will get less. Or if it had stuff in it, it will grow things.
Yeah.
Right? Like your
Yep.
pool gets
Yeah.
all green and stuff. Like it's not gonna just stay.
No, nothing does in life. If you leave a car just sitting, it's true. Because if you leave a car just sitting there, it won't start when you try to start it.
Well,
F-
even
10
in like
years later.
the museums and stuff, where
Yeah.
they're trying to preserve something so that we can have it to look at, like like in the National Archives, the Constitution, stuff like that. They have to have like all these special gases and whatever
Yeah.
because it's so unnatural
Yeah.
for things not to change.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think is the best way to handle curveballs then?
Well, the best way to
Keep
handle
coming
curveballs is you catch it and just keep moving forward.
When life hands you the lemons, you make the lemonade.
You make
right?
lemonade and you drink it and you enjoy it.
What
But
if you don't like lemonade?
then you make peachade, or you go to Rite Aid, or you make Apple Aid. I don't know. I don't allow.
What
I
else
know
could
that
you do
life
with
is.
the
I know that life is changing, and it revolves around changing, and I'm okay with change.
And you can't expect anything to go literally according to plan.
No,
Like
but my
the
thing is,
routine-
I expect how I get caught up is I expect people to be a certain way, and then when they're not, I get let down. But now I've learned to. I'm okay with whichever way they are. I just got to get adjusted to who they are, and I know.
When
as
do you
long as
think you expected people to be a certain way and you were let down? What comes to
just
mind?
in life itself. Like
Like as a kid?
my biggest problem was I expected people to be, for life to be fair,
Oh, yeah.
and it isn't.
Oh, no, it's not.
But I expected it to be fair.
Yeah.
You did good. You worked hard. You prospered. You made it.
Okay, so I 100% agree with you. And fairness is really interesting because life is inherently unfair.
Yes, and I know that now.
Like for it to be fair, we would literally need to have everybody would have to have the exact same Like
Yep.
if you think about what it would really take for life to be fair,
Yep.
like it's not possible.
No, it's not. That's okay. I'm okay with that now.
And I believe the balancing for that is the Savior,
Well,
right?
yeah,
I don't know how people
yeah.
reconcile it that don't believe in.
Well,
in
life
Christ, but
is a balancing act.
I think He's what balances it out and makes it so that it's fair to all.
Well, look, okay.
The atonement.
Well, yes.
Right? Like,
Yes.
yeah. If you were to look back, what do you think is one failed quote unquote plan that you're grateful for?
I don't think I can say it on here.
Really?
Yep. No, I can say
How mysterious.
Well, it was trying to, do something stupid and take my own life. And I tried it 3 times, and God made me fail every single time. And how do I know it was God? Was because I used a rope one time, and I woke up. I was on the other side of the room. Nobody was at my house. The rope was cut. And I was on the other side of the house.
Wow.
And then another time, I tried to use a gun, and I tried to shoot myself, and the gun wouldn't work, and I threw the gun, and it went off, and that's when I realized that, okay, maybe I shouldn't be trying to shoot myself.
How many times did you try to take your life?
3 times.
Wow. What was
Because
the
I was on drugs, that's why. So, and then I tried to OD, take a bunch of drugs, and I ended up just throwing them up. Nothing ever happened.
And then there was the attempted suicide by cop too.
No, yeah, that one, I forgot, so there's 4 times. But God made me not do that, so.
Was all of that after your dive into the drugs?
No, I was doing it.
All 4 of those were during it.
During it, yeah.
Yeah.
All during it.
Trying to escape the addiction.
Trying to escape the pain and suffering that I was emotionally going through. And then like I said, when you get healthy, you realize that you're supposed to go through things, and you learn from things to go through it.
Yeah, and I honestly think there's something about when you are so resistant to something changing,
Yeah.
it makes it worse.
It does. It makes it harder.
If you can relax, things all honestly go easier.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this, but I'm really bad at this.
Change happens. I like change. It happens. And you get used to change. If something changes, you just deal with it and move forward. And it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier not to get upset and just go, okay, let me just do it this way then.
So fostering flexibility
is the key.
a key to happiness.
Yes, it sure is. And not just fostering flexibility, it's fostering flexibility and being happy about it.
Yeah.
Not being sad and upset and, and fighting it. Because if you fight it, it's going to happen anyway, and you're going to be resistant towards it, but it's going to push forward anyway. Because change is inevitable.
Yep. And happiness is a choice that we have to make. It's not something that just occurs.
That's right.
Because you could choose, even if things are going, all according to your plan, it's what you focus on that makes you happy or sad.
But it may be what you've planned, and God's like, I got a different plan for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So he might make you divinely discontent just to try to get you to go a different way.
Oh, yeah. He will put you places that make you listen. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.
All right. Well, is that another episode of Dang?
Dang.
Why is it dang?
Dang.
Dang?
Dang.
Not today. This podcast is produced by my wife, Bettijo Bridges, in collaboration with Pop Populi, and edited by our daughter, Adelie Ann.
She is also the musician responsible for our theme music, so go check out Adelie Ann wherever you stream your music. Have a question or topic you want us to cover? Send us your suggestions at dangpodcast.com.
If you would do me a quick favor, please subscribe or rate our podcast to make it easier for others to find. Have a great week.
I'm running on nothing but faith. There's things far too great that I want to accomplish.